Baby, you're a master chef with Thai sweet chili and the chicken too, and the beef for boot. Bringing out the Taiwan noodles and that spicy pepper. Welcome to Portioning with Jason, episode 6. Noodles, noodles, noodles. With beef, beef, beef. And that pepper though. And that pepper though. So welcome to Portioning with Jason, episode 6. Soup, noodles, and the chicken fry. So as you can tell, I am wearing a very patriotic, American-styled, white polo and blue pants, as you can see. So why am I wearing such patriotic clothing for this Portioning with Jason episode? Because it is time to celebrate the birth of our nation for July 4th. Last year, July 4th was a mixed bag. Celtics did lose the finals, had a lot of fun with my partner, and we had a lot of good time, but curfew be damned. So this year, I'm going to be much more legit with July 4th. It's going to be a bit of a mix of Chinese and American style to July 4th. You know how Americans say, fry them up? That's what's going to happen tonight. So I'm going to be making a very, very awesome 2-course meal for tonight for July 4th dinner. I'm first going to begin with the pepper and the beef. So I'm going to be making something called 小肉牛肉面, which is the Chinese version of July 4th. Then for the old Americans, going to add in the good old sauce and the chicken. And that'll be it for the episode. So let me switch over to my stove cam. And by the way, that was Katy Perry firework, if you haven't noticed. So here we go, bros. This is my new stove cam. So, like always in Portioning with Jason, you gotta be very careful with the stove. Because this beef already has a lot of flavor inside the stove, I'm only gonna do 2 things. I'm just gonna stir fry it and set it aside and put in a noodle. Delicious. So give me 1 second while I prepare. So because this is a stir-fried noodle, not actually a boiled noodle, we gotta be very careful with how we use the noodles. So make sure I'm ready to begin our accoutrement for these noodles. This is only be part of my meal. I'm gonna just make it stir-fried. So this is me using the good old wok, as you can tell. The wok is getting warm, so I'm adding some fans for circulation. There's a little trivia for July 4th, guys. Who wrote the Star Spangled Banner? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed by the twilight's last gleaming? And I'll give you until I put in the beef into stir fry for the answer. All right, time's up. It's Francis Scott Key, my man. So this is a very basic stir fry, so I'm just adding only a little bit of vegetable oil, not too much. So since the stir fry is already having a lot of beef tender flavors, I'm just gonna put the beef right in here directly. And the beef is already cooked, so I'm gonna make it medium for heat for the stir fry. So here we go. The beef is cooking pretty good, guys. You can see it's nice and sizzling. God bless America. Put some more beef. Just let that boil up. Put some leftovers. here as well. So it's like a little bit of a deep stir fry. Next, I'm putting my peppers for a little kick. Putting my peppers for a little kick here. Now be careful with these peppers, they get pretty dang hot. So be careful. Then add in a little soy sauce to make it a little more oriental. And then the fun part begins. Stir-fry noodle. So I'm gonna add in now Taiwan fresh noodle to this beautiful quantity. So strand by strand the noodles, nothing too crazy. Just cook them nice and crisp. It is American style stir-fry, so you might as well do the best you can. So you can see the stir fry and the noodles are cooking real good, and I'm making like maybe ilao, which is in Chinese like one handful of noodles. Add in the rest of my beef to make it really good, and then keep on cooking. So because this is a stir fry noodle, you don't need a whole lot more flavor than the beef and the noodle itself already. So you can just keep on cooking the noodles the way as it is. If you think this is too dry for stir fry, add in some water. It'll make it much better. And this will make it a nice little sauce for the stir fry noodle. Because this is a really basic stir fry, there's not much need to be put in for the noodle, just a little bit of touch of beef and oils, and that's about it. And because this thing cooks real fast, I'm gonna actually crank up the heat a little bit. Start evaporating the sauce, make a little bit of a reduction. Time to bougie up this stir fry. It's a little bit, bland. So I'm gonna add some heat to this bad boy. It's a little bit bland, so I'm gonna add some heat to this bad boy. A little bit of Sichuan pepper heat. Nothing too crazy, something just to wake up the flavors a little bit. Because we are, making this thing very, very Chinese American. Now this stir fry is loosely based on, Panda Express, which in Florida is a lot better than back in Massachusetts. The Panda Express is a great motivation for this episode. Making a good beef stir fry, making things very delicious. And actually fairly nutritious for the episode. This is the most well-cooked, I should say, portion with Jason. I'm definitely going well above medium rare, almost well done for the beef and noodle stir fry. So as y'all can see, there's a little bit of a stir fry right now. You can see the stir fry right here, looking real good, real delicious. Over here. So, as I continue to reduce the hell out of the stir fry and add some water because it's gonna burn, I continue making the viscosity of the stir fry thicker and thicker. So it becomes like a bit of a soup, a bit of a sauce type of thing. So this is pretty good for stir fry. So I'm gonna put the heat real low and start tasting it. You want a nice chew for your noodles, so make sure that the noodles are consistently chewable before you plate. So got a little bit of noodle, time for the chew. A good chew. The noodles are very good. Nice chew on the noodles, not too sticky. The stir fry may be done. So while this thing cooks for stir fry, I'm going to add now the second thing for tonight, which is the chicken. So, how to make American style deep fried chicken. Well, let me show you. crank up the heat again. Get a second pan this time. Crank up the heat to ultra high, so it's very, very steamy. Get our chicken and start frying that boy up. This is a really, really basic chicken fry. I'm not going to make it too hot, just make it hot enough so that the chicken gets a little bit heated. Add a good glug of vegetable oil. Nothing too crazy, just enough to fry the chicken up. Get chopsticks and let the oil do the work. So you can see we have a nice chicken with the vegetable oil right here. As you can see, there's the vegetable oil, which is pretty cool. And we're going to continue on cooking the chicken and vegetable oil. Now, remember, this is supposed to be a very, very hot oil for frying, so be very careful. I'm going to protect myself with a little apron. You also want to protect yourself while cooking, otherwise you're going to burn yourself and things will not go well for you for your July 4th episode. This is one of the faster cooking episodes for Portion with Jason because everything's like basically pre-made. It's like